like it was a box of matches. The word Leslie England is actually on the inside of the roof. It's the only place that they had to put it. You'll notice early models. This one, the axle's pinched on the end, where they're rounded on the other. Early models, they were pinched to secure the axle ends on until they developed riveting machines to smooth the ends over. So this kind of toy wouldn't fly today because it's got sharp edges. I remember having Matchbox back in 1963 because I remember seeing a pocket catalog. So I would have been like 7 years old. Then I joined a collector's club in '69. So by 13 I got hooked as a collector. The first 22 models when they were issued never had a number on the bottom. It wasn't until the number 23, the Berkeley Cavalier trailer, that the first model actually got a number on them. And then when some of the second versions of some of the other models came into being, then they started having a number. Wheels, windows, window color, clear window, green window, no window. Silver wheel, gray wheel, and black wheel. Well, at 13, I saw a blister card that said join the Matchbox Collectors Club. So I said, okay, yeah, that sounds like an idea. And I joined that in 1969. Then several years later, I found out about other collectors clubs. And then at some point, I actually started my own club. I started as a chapter of one of the other clubs, a local Connecticut chapter, and then that branched off into a national organization.
How many collectors groups or clubs are there that you know of?
There are thousands, but because of the internet, a lot of them are not documented through clubs anymore. I'm probably the last remaining club that publishes a monthly newsletter. At its height, we got up to 1,500 members. We're down to under 300 because people just don't like to have paper anymore for a newsletter. The second model made and released at Christmas 1953 was the small little dump truck. Actually, a moving feature. To round out the Christmas release of 1953 was the number 3 cement mixer. It was just
so these were around in 1953, these Matchbox cars, toy cars, and they just, from that year onwards, they made more and different over the years.
I think I'm going to have a museum. And I had spread out into, I think, 2 rooms upstairs. And then I got into the basement, refurbished it. I probably had 10,000 models at the time. My mother and father were still both alive, and they basically put up with me. They let me overtake the house with the toys, and they lived around it. I remember being obsessed with them growing up. You know, I got to a point where if we took a family trip, my toys had to go with me.
So how popular were Matchboxes?
Well, if you go back into the mid to late 1960s, they were cranking out 1 million models a week out of the factory during the regular wheel era.
What are you calling them again?
They're called regular wheels, and nobody knows where that came from because Matchbox did not call them regular wheels. They got that term sometime in '69 when Superfast came out, and somebody just called them regular.
It's a big wide world out there collecting these Matchbox, Hot Wheels, dinky toys. A lot of grown men that have retired from 50 years onwards, they collect. You know, a lot of people that don't understand their collection, they just turn their nose up at it. It's a good hobby to have.
He's the LES, Lesney.